Hi, this is Paula, and I just purchased the Luminess Air system, and we're going to give it a try. We've read through the instructions, and we're going to start by doing our test strips.
All right, so the products that we have available that we're going to try out, we have 4 different shades of color. One of these will work. We have, of course, the moisturizer, and we have a brightening glow. We also have blush, 2 eyeshadows, and a bronzer. So all of these products mixed together, we should have what is advertised as a phenomenal product, something that people would recommend to their friends, to their family, to become this beautiful, extravagant. So first we're going to start off with the color match, and this is recommended in the pamphlet that was sent with this product. Ultimately, the end result, what we're looking for is to get a color in the paint as close to our skin as possible. So we have a shade 6, we have a shade 5, and then it skips from 4 to 3. So I'm not very dark on my skin, as you can see. So I'm looking for a fair color. And if I need to darken it up at that point, we can use bronzer or mix a couple of the colors together. So let's start with a 3. And they recommend doing a test strip. So what we're looking for is when I put a little tiny dab on my finger, does it match my skin color? So that one seems like it blends pretty okay. Let's just try the 4 to see if we can get a better match. So right down there at the bottom, I have the 3, and here comes the 4. The 4 looks really orange, and I definitely am not going for an Ump Lumpa look. So definitely going to go ahead and stick with the 3. And I definitely want fresh skin to make sure everything blends as advertised. So I'm just going to move these out of the way so we don't get confused. So in our itty bitty little teeny bottle, we just need a few drops in our airbrush machine. So for those of you who don't know how to airbrush, or are first timers such as myself, you pour the drops in the container that you want to make sure that you hold steady. And we are going to turn our machine on. So already right here, you can feel that there's air coming in. You want to hold it about 8 inches from your face, like a pen, and go in circular motions 8 inches from your skin. And you're just going to keep going round and round and round to give yourself a nice, great base color without getting it in your mouth. And we keep going. And it's recommended to use 4 to 6 drops to go ahead and keep the desired color. So already here, I can see that I'm getting just an excellent glow from this color. And you can tell when your product is out when you don't feel the product splattering on your face anymore. So we're going to add more. And then, again, 8 inches from your face, circling the color. Circling. And you can just get a nice layer on here. And you want to make sure that you're doing this as evenly as possible, and make sure that you get under your chin to avoid that line that everybody hates. All right, perfect. So now I have my base color. So this is my foundation, if you will. As you can see, everything is blending beautifully.
Wet.
So it does take a little bit of time to dry. Once your product is out, it'll blow air to see if we can just keep drying it out a little bit. And drying. And drying. And drying. All right. Now that I'm comfortable with the consistency of my foundation, very nice glow.
You're fucking orange.
Let's go ahead and let's do the blush. The blush is always fun, something flirty. And in this specific instance, I have Luminess called Soft Rose, and it is entitled on the label that it is blush. So again, we're going to go back to our distributor, pour in 2 drops 2 drops. And again, this is very, 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 very only 2 drops. So, again, we're going to start with the 8 inches from the face, and we're going to go in a circular motion. Keep going, going, going. And you can see my blush. We're going to go ahead and move to the other side. And I have noticed that when you go the faster speed, because it does come with 3 speeds, we've got slow, medium, and high, that the faster speeds give you a much, much more delicate blend on your face. So again, this side needs just a little bit more. And it looks like I have too much, so we'll just add some to the other side. Again, in that wonderful circular pattern. And of course, you never just want to have the rosy cheeks. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to do a little bit on the forehead, a little bit on the nose, and completely avoid the chin region. We definitely do not want that line. Everybody hates that line. And I'm just going to do a little touch up, make sure it blends back into my back here. All right, it is looking good and it's out. Perfect. And you always need to make sure before you try airbrushing that you have plenty of paper towels, because it gets very messy on your shirts, on your kitchen counter, wherever you're deciding to airbrush. It's all over the mirror. Be very careful and don't wear white. All right, now that it is stained on my fingers, we're going to go ahead and we are going to try, let's do the bronzer. The bronzer sounds fun because everybody likes to have that special glow about them.
I would use a drop if I were you.
We're going to go ahead and use a drop of bronzer because we definitely don't want to look fake and baked. And we're just going to slightly go over the rose just to blend it just a little bit. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and touch up the other side. And again, just a faint line across everything just to blend. Just a faint line. Touch up on the forehead. There we go. Next, we're going to move on to eyeshadow.
Oh my god.
Eyeshadow in an airbrush definitely takes a form of art. You definitely don't want to
taking applications.
use more than a drop to get it on there. I always pull my eye to the side just so I get that real fresh look on there. Real natural when my eye finally pops back into shape. So we're going to go ahead and do this side. Again, pull to the side, and I'm getting airbrush drippings. And it looks like poop. So we're just going to watch the poop off my hands. Wasn't kidding. And from there, let's go ahead and do the crease. So now that I have that awesome top to bottom, we'll go ahead and work on the crease and give us a little bit of contrast in here. So this is definitely something that takes a lot of skill to be able to get in there, okay? So trying to avoid getting this everywhere. So again, we're going to get real close up, and we're going to do a high-powered blast. High-powered blast. And that'll just get it right in there. And everywhere else. High-powered blast, high-powered blast. All right, perfect. So at this point in time, what I'm going to go ahead and do is we just need to blow the rest of the product out so we can go ahead and get the air flowing out of the gun, because we definitely want everything to dry to avoid having that really sticky feeling that I've been going through for the last 20 minutes.
Oh my god.
High-powered blast. Air. Wow, I look amazing. Can't wait to go out tonight. All right, and I'm drying. And the best way to check and see if everything is dried is to do, of course, a check. So we're going to go ahead and turn the gun off because we're done with that. And we get to check out our final product. So I want to get real close up with you guys to find out what you think of this. So I've got my natural glow. I've got my awesome eyeliner, eyeshadow, crease, bronzer, and blush all in one. without that awful line. Everything is blending together, and of course, my face is ridiculous sticky. Okay, do you see that on my hand? That could be on your clothes. That could be on everything in your house. Luminess is an awful product that will leave you looking like an Oompa Loompa with a fake and bake that dipped her face in jam, okay? It is a terrible product. Not only will they rip you off with your monthly installments that they never tell you about, they will continue raping your bank account of your hard-earned money and make you look like an idiot. You go out in public like this, nobody's going to talk to you. Everybody's going to say, wow, why didn't that girl get out of the tanning bed with all her clothes on? Get the fuck out of there. You look like an Oompa Loompa. You look like you are auditioning for Jersey Shore. What are you doing out of the house right now? And you know what? Nobody's going to say that to your face, but everybody's going to be thinking it. And sometimes that's worse than people saying something. So whatever you do, Luminess, again, that is Luminess air.com. Go ahead and look for yourself and see if any of their products reflect their multiple reoccurring payments prior to ordering their product. But of course, you can go ahead and notify their customer care. Let me go ahead and see if I can get that number for you guys to find out if you can talk to anybody that's actually from America. Do you have the number?
No. I do, but no, I don't.